The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. This is Diana Price, the moderator for today, and I see we have about 3 attendees that have signed on. So just hang tough. We are going to get started in just a moment. Thank you so much for being on the call today. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hi, Diana. This is Aaron Berggren with the FEWA staff. I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. I just want to make sure I see who's on the line. Claire, can you hear me? David Hinman and Janice Berry, do you have your audio on? It looks like your audio is off. Maury, oh, good. You guys are unmuting yourself. That's great. David is still muted. Claire, can you hear me? This is Diana Price, the moderator.
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Welcome to the networking today. How about you, David? Can you hear me, David Hinman?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. And Janice, I'm just going to check your audio as well.
Yes, I can hear you not real clear, but I can hear you.
Yeah, and I want to apologize in advance for that. I had to get called off to a case today, so I apologize. I'm in a remote location, so please, if you can't hear me, speak up and say that, and we'll repeat. I apologize for any audio issues today. So Danny, I see Danny just joined us. Danny, can you unmute yourself? Or can someone unmute Danny? I don't know. Oh, yay. Good afternoon, Danny Dukes. Can you hear me? This is Diana Price, your moderator.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Welcome to the call. We're going to wait a few more minutes to see how many other folks that have signed up to join us will actually participate. And in the meantime, be thinking about your introduction, because this is all for you, for all of our forensic experts that are a part of the Forensic Expert Witness Association. It's really so we can get to know each other better and share things, best practices from your life experiences, from your expert experiences, so we can learn from you and we can learn from each other. That's what it's all about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Jack just joined us. Okay, you know, we're going to get started. Hopefully, Jack, can you hear me okay? Jack Young? Jack is muted. Okay, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started. Before we get started, we're going to turn it over to our brand new executive director to just kind of give us the lay of the land for the webinar and just a little bit about, you know, how it's going to work today. Is that going to be Aaron? Is that Aaron? Are you there?
Hi, yes, I am
Aaron?
here, and yes,
hey, okay.
Yes, hello. Yes, welcome everybody. This is Aaron Berggren. As of September 1st, my management firm, MCI Group, which is based in Chicago, has assumed the management responsibilities for FEWA, having transitioned from the previous company. So any hiccups or hesitations on today's broadcast can most likely be placed squarely on my shoulders. So apologies in advance for that. But I am excited, along with my colleague, Miriam Gunja, who is actually at the control day on the webinar. And so should you have any issue with seeing a slide or perhaps any kind of technical situation, please shoot us a note in the questions box of your web browser there. Or if you have the microphone, you have the floor, you could use that opportunity to let us know what's going on at that time. As I'm talking here, I believe on your screen you should see Miriam is kind of scrolling through some of the usual logistic screenshots here, indicating where you can use the chat box, as I just mentioned, in the drop-down menu. You can both mute and unmute yourself, which it seems like everyone has a pretty good handle on. And I would encourage us all to mute our phones if we are not speaking at the moment, just to help on the background noise. Okay, thank you. Should anybody be inclined to share your webcam today, you can do that as well. Although I know that in both Diana's and my situation today, that is not a possibility, so you would just be hearing our voices. Okay. So why don't we get into our introduction of our speaker today, who's pulling double duty as our moderator, and that is Diana Price. You can see on the screen here now, Diana is a forensic travel expert. She's the immediate past president of the Expert Witness Association Los Angeles chapter, and she's a former national vice president of education for the Forensic Expert Witness Association. Diana, welcome. Thank you for participating today despite your kind of on-the-move conditions, but we appreciate it and are looking forward to the conversation. Please, Diana, take it away.
Absolutely. Good afternoon again, everyone, and I'm hoping that you can hear okay because my audio is going in and out. So please, are you guys hearing everything that Aaron said, our new executive director? Just quickly say yes if you did.
Yes.
Yeah, everything sounds fine.
Did everybody hear what Aaron said? Great. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to continue. So today, some of you have probably been on the call before, but I just wanted to introduce myself in the format that I would like to see everyone introduce themselves also. So my name is Diana Price, and I'm a forensic travel expert. Okay. You already know that I was a past president of the Los Angeles chapter. And my expertise is international travel means anything that relates to cruises, tours, airline tickets, travel agents, on a vacation, a trip, slips and falls. Attorney will call me to opine on the standards, the customs, and the practices in the travel industry. So I will, of course, write opinions that will help the attorney win the case and testify and go through all the depositions that we all do. So what I'm looking for in this networking session is some really experienced best practices that you guys can share, and we'll get through that. We'll get to that a little bit later, and how we can help each other as we progress in our businesses. So that's a little bit about me. And if to give you an example of how we want you to do your introduction. So if you have a CV, we're going to put your CV on file on the screen, just like they're putting mine on right now. So we're going to go on now to the introductions, and let me just reiterate, if you could put the introduction slide up, we're going to reiterate how and what we want you to kind of cover in your introductions. So if you could spend about 45 seconds to a minute and talk about the cases you offer, your expertise. You heard me talk about my forensic expert witness practice that's travel related, and what help you're looking for and what help you can offer. So let's get going. I want to start with, let me just see the list of folks that are here first. Help me out with who's first on the list, because I believe I just drew I don't have that on the screen yet. Let's take a look. All right, let's see. Sharing. I tell you what, Aaron, I'm going to have you help me with the attendees because
Sure.
my computer is not showing me the attendees now. It's showing me
Not a
Claire and
problem.
it's showing me a couple that are muted. So I tell you what, let's start with Claire and I'll see if we can get everyone else unmuted. Claire, can you start and share for us?
Certainly.
Welcome to the networking session, Claire. You got it. You are on.
So I am Claire Meskey. My company is Senior Parent Solutions. For the last 25, 30 years, I've managed retirement communities, assisted living, some skilled, and have been involved in several cases in the assisted living space. Offer anything from opinions to depositions, testifying, done all of that, and find it quite fascinating and interesting to be involved with that. And I'm just like most of us looking for more business in that area. Been very successful in assisted living because many of the attorneys that are suing for negligent care are coming off of skilled nursing regulations, which don't apply at all to assisted living.
Uh-huh. Oh, Claire, you've got a great field there. Are you currently a member of the Los Angeles chapter, or have you joined a FEWA, and what chapter are you with?
Orange County.
Okay, awesome. So good to have you on the call, and thanks for sharing. Thank you so much. Danny, is Danny Dukes on the call? I hope you are unmuted, Danny.
Yes, I'm here.
Yay. Let's give it a go, Danny. Go ahead, you're on.
Okay, I'm a CPA and a CFP, and basically my expertise ranges on the financial side, determining damages. I have a heavy background in banking matters, which is really a broad range of mortgage, bank operations, best practices, those types of things. I also help with family practice attorneys in divorce cases, identifying assets, doing calculations, determining funds available for the payment of child support and alimony.
Awesome. So you're in Georgia. You are a member of which chapter, Danny?
I don't think we have a FEWA in the Atlanta area yet, Atlanta chapter, so I'm not a member of I think I've joined the one in Florida, the Orlando
okay.
area, because we don't have one in Georgia yet.
Yeah, absolutely, I understand. And that's exactly what this networking session is all about. Some of our members are members, but there's no local. So this helps facilitate your ability to get together with all of us if you can't get to a meeting. So thank you for being on the call, Danny, and thank you so much for sharing. David Hinman, let's hear from you, David.
Okay, thank you. My name is David Hinman. Company is Hinman Capital Services. I go by the acronym of HCS. And I'm an expert in institutional securities and bankruptcy. So most of the cases I work on, it's investment managers or institutional investors suing underwriters for securities offerings, misrepresentation. Occasionally it moves into areas such as fraud or money laundering. Most of my cases are in the federal, a lot of in Southern District of New York, but also several under U.S. law. Formerly was a institutional asset manager, so managing portfolios on behalf of pension funds and sovereign wealth funds and things of that nature. And as part of that work, I did a lot of work on bankruptcy, obviously, as an investor trying to get our clients' money back. Developed a good degree of experience in working with lawyers in that area, and I'm trying to build my network, going from mostly knowing securities lawyers to lawyers who work on bankruptcy and litigation matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool, David. And you are.
I'm in Orange County, California, but I'm not a member of the current chapter. I rarely do any cases locally, and I've only had one case in California. Again, most of my work is in federal, federal court in New York, and also in New York law.
Okay. But you are a member of Orange County FEWA, but you don't go. Is that my understanding? Is that correct? Or you're not a member at this time?
I'm not a member of the local chapter. If I felt it had merits for my business, I would join, but I don't work on a lot of.
I am having a hard time hearing you, but I'm sure everybody else heard you. So, but thank you, David Hinman, for joining us and being on the call today. We really appreciate having you, and thank you for sharing. We're going to come back to for another question in just a moment. But Jack Young, is Jack unmuted? It's let's hear from Jack Young. Jack, can you hear us? It looks like Jack might be muted, and so is Janice. Janice looks like she's muted as well.
Oh, am I there now?
Oh, now Jack. Yeah, awesome. Okay, Jack, let's hear from you. Thanks for being on the call.
You bet. Oh, I got two different devices going here. Hang on a second here. I think that works out a lot better. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. I am a. So where do we start here? I'm a machine and equipment appraiser. Although I am a CPA as well. I used to work for KPMG here in the Sacramento area, and so I have a background in, in auditing and stuff like that. But as far as, so I do a lot of that kind of stuff too for CPA firms. But primarily, most of my work is probably litigation support work for when there's tangible business personal property involved, and usually it comes down to a value opinion. And a lot of what I do is kind of different from probably a lot of people. Is that, first of all, because I'm an accredited appraiser, there's already a bunch of standards out there about how my report, standard of care for what an appraisal is. So it's a lot of the times I'm looking at I'm doing an appraisal review and looking at something on another side that probably doesn't meet the standard of care, and they're either asking me to opine on that, and which I've written a lot of classes on that as well. So that's so I work a lot with the American Society of Appraisers, and I'm actually sitting right there. I'm the past chair, right there. I'm the current chair of the Appraisal Review Committee of the International Appraisal Review Committee for the ASA. So that all is really handy. A lot of times I actually get hired by both sides, and they want me to. They just need to know what the value is, and that's really kind of not an issue. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But usually I found that a well-crafted report and a well-crafted, well-communicated report, it just don't get many questions about my values. I really try to make things as clear as possible, and they really the written report really usually stands up. So that's my situation there. So
thank you, Jack, and thank you for sharing. Great to have you as a member of the Northern California chapter. Thank you for sharing. Really, thank you for being on the call.
Can I add something else here? Can I just,
Of course.
I just want to put in something else here. I think there's just a huge amount of, FEWA had a booth at the International Appraisal Conference in New York City last month, and there's just a lot of opportunity for FEWA within the ASA. There's a lot of people in the ASA that really would like to know more about expert witness work, and you guys are the obvious, obvious organization to do that, to partner with them. So, putting that out there.
Yeah, and that is such a crucial point that you make, because the whole idea of FEWA is to educate our experts, and now, why not educate other organizations so they can help us and we can help them. So thank you for that, Jack. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Janice Berry, is Janice ready and unmuted? Janice looks like she's muted, so she probably can't hear me. Let's see if we can put her up. Maybe she'll know it's Janice Berry. Oh, yay, she's unmuted. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, Janice, if you can hear, you're on. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Janice Berry. I can barely hear you, but I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly now. I knew that I would be going out. I'm in a remote location. Please bear with me, but you go ahead, Janice, please.
All right. I'm a clinical informaticist. I live in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I belong to the Chicago chapter, although I used to live in Chicago. I don't get there for the meetings, but I have been to a couple of the national meetings. The work I do is with clinical content, and I am very brand new at regarding court cases or any of that. I don't have that experience. I've been looking at how I can attain that, and there's not a lot to offer here in La Crosse. I don't know if I need to look in Madison, Wisconsin, or where I need to go for that.
Okay, can you repeat that one more time? And Aaron, if you are there, or Murray, if you could take a note of what Janice is saying about what she needs. So repeat that one more time, Janice.
Sure. I'm a clinical informaticist. So I have worked for, a lot of years in clinical content that is used in an electronic medical record. And so I've done the build, I've done the assessments, the testing, and I live in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I am trying to see how I can work this into being an expert witness, but there, as far as for the court system, there doesn't seem to be anything in this area. I don't know if I need to go to Madison or where I need to go to be able to even observe what that court proceedings would look like. And how I can use my expertise.
So
I am
Janice,
a member
if
of the
you
Chicago.
can hear me.
I am a member of the
perfect.
Chicago FEWA Association, but I am about 5.5 hours away, so I do not get to the the evening meetings. And I have been at a couple of the national conferences. But if anyone can help me out with a segue into how I can improve my ability.
Hi, Janice. This is Miriam from FEWA. I'm the account coordinator with FEWA. We can get in contact with you after the webinar is over. I can email you about this.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello? Is everyone still on the line?
Hey, Miriam, this is Aaron. I'm still here, and I can see the rest of our guests look like they are still here. I think, Diana, if you are speaking right now, we are not able to hear you.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
If you cannot, Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
A little.
Yes.
Well, this is a quick question, and this is the last thing for today. I want each of you to quickly share, and whoever gets this, repeat it if you can't hear it. Quickly share one best practice with us about how you are continuing to grow your expert witness practice. Okay, that's one. And what and how you could add value to other experienced forensic experts. Did everybody hear that? Aaron, could you confirm if they heard that or not?
I could hear you just fine. How about we take the approach, did anybody not hear what Diana said there? Okay.
Awesome.
And let's go with the assumption that everybody did.
Perfect.
And Diana, can we also assume that we'd like to proceed in the order that they introduce themselves, or would you just like
Correct.
someone to jump in?
No, let's just start with that 1 minute, 60-second version, the way we started, starting with Claire, please.
Okay.
Okay, this is Claire. Being new to FEWA, I guess what I'm looking for is how to grow my business. I've was referred to this several years ago by a friend of mine, and have, like I say, done several cases. Enjoy the heck out of it, and I think the important thing that I get out of all of this is really close communication with the attorney that has hired me to go over all the details and focus on, like for me, like I said earlier, people suing assisted living are looking at it from the vision of a skilled nursing facility, and the regulations are completely different. So that's where I come in. The other part of it is that and I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not, but I don't have a problem doing it, is learning about the hearing officer or the judge, and developing. When I first get on the stand, first thing I do is figure out a way to be a very likable person.
Okay.
And I think that helps.
Yes. Awesome. That's very, very good. Being a likable person to the judge and to the jury. Oh my God, that's huge. That's great. Thank you, Claire, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Danny. Danny?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Go ahead.
Okay, I've been doing this for about 9 years, and I'm out there on a lot of different expert witness sites as an expert in various categories that I am an expert in, and that has helped. It's helped to get cases and appear on the legal docket, because a lot of attorneys look for similar cases and then who were experts, and that helps. But it also helps reaching out to attorneys or attorney groups, Bar Association, Trial Lawyers Association in the various states, running some ads, reaching out and attending and getting to know attorneys that would take on cases similar to the cases that you would be interested in qualified for. Like, you wouldn't want to reach out to an immigrations attorney unless that's your area of expertise. It's not mine, so I wouldn't reach out to that attorney. But any attorney that does damages or bank matters or family law, are things that I would reach out to and try to get kind of in their Rolodex for someone they would consider, and find out. A lot of times it's the paralegals that do this. Attorneys also use professional organizations to search for experts, and so I've kind of joined up with some of those, and get to see what kind of cases they have, and get interviewed, and hopefully get hired, and do get hired from time to time.
Thank you, Danny. That's good stuff. David Hinman. Is David on the call? If David's muted, why don't we go to Jack, and then we can come back to David. Or Janice, either one.
Okay, hang on a second. This is Jack. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jack. Thank you.
I did a couple things. It's kind of a multi-faceted approach. I've got about 5,000. First of all, I spent a lot of time really figuring out who my ideal client is. I spent a lot of time writing about that and researching it, and really getting a really good handle on that. I've got about 5,500 contacts on LinkedIn, and almost all those meet that criteria. That's just a start. I attend a lot of bar association meetings. I've done a number of classes for them, and like luncheon presentations. They're always looking for speakers. So I'm especially on the family law side. A lot of my work is family law because there's closely held corporations and with tangible personal property that needs to be taken care of. So that's kind of another strategy. I also present to like Cal CPA and basically getting in front of business valuation appraisers because I get hired by BV appraisers a lot. I've also written a number of classes for my profession. I have a very active blog on my website. And once again, it all really comes down to that very first piece of really figuring out who I want to work for and because there's some people that I really don't want to work for, and I don't want to spend the time on the phone to tell them I don't want to work for them. So, well, it's just that there's other people that do that, So I really want to kind of streamline. I want to talk to the people and I want to save them time too. So, so that's kind of the basic strategy that we use here. I find writing classes and teaching classes that's one thing that a lot of attorneys really want to see. So that's one thing being active in the American Society of Appraisers it has enabled me to do is I write and teach a fair amount. So that's kind of the strategy here. And I've written a number. We have a number of trade journals too in the ASA, and I've been published in a fair number of those. So that's kind of the strategy that I've taken is really laying a pretty good audit trail of, I'm on the internet in trail places, I'm in people's spaces, I'm here, there, and everywhere, and I'm usually kind of rotating the conferences and stuff that I go to every year and like trying to triangulate. Some of them look like they're going to be really great, and it's like, oh, that was still a waste of time,
Yeah.
And sometimes I go to places, and it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was going to be such a good deal. So
Exactly. Well, that's pretty good, Jack. I mean, thank you for sharing that. Those strategies are absolutely timeless. So thanks for sharing that. Really appreciate that, Jack.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Who's unmuted, Janice or David or whoever we didn't get? Janice, you're unmuted, I think.
Yes, okay, I just unmute myself. Yeah, I just found that Jack's suggestions will really be helpful to me for how to approach this in a better way. Who I want to work for, I think that is priceless. I didn't hear what the second point he made on that. If he wouldn't mind repeating that, I would love to hear that.
I think I'm muted. I can't remember what the second, but what I think it was who I do want to work for and who I don't want to work for. And I'm just going to ramble on here and see if I answer your question, but I don't know. It's like, what did you not hear? I can't. It's hard for me to answer that question, and I talk too fast.
Okay.
But
do not.
So yeah, what's not in the box? So basically, the model is write articles. First of all, really spend a lot of time thinking about who I want to work for and who I don't want to work for. And in my world, we don't work for bankers, for example. There's a number of reasons why we don't, and nothing wrong with bankers, which just doesn't fit our model. So so I really spend a lot of time thinking about like where they hang out, where they go to, what's their trusted sources of information, what email lists are they on, and can I get on those? Can I publish something in their publication on that's going to be relevant to them, that's going to make sense to them, that's going to make their job just a little bit easier? So we spent a lot of time, trying to write for the local bar associations are they'll have a family law section or a some kind of litigation section. They're always looking for content. Everybody's always looking for content. Even if not that, then go up to the state bar and see if there's if they're usually looking for content as well.
Okay.
So, did that answer your question, ma'am? I don't think
it does. Thank you for elaborating.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Jack, again. Appreciate you both sharing. And Janice, those were really good questions. And thank you, Jack, for helping her.
Okay.
And David, did you unmute yourself, David? We are almost out of time, but let's see if we can get back to David Hinman.
Hello, this is Miriam. It looks like he's offline.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Marion. Well, I want to just share a couple more things as we bring this session to a close. Fortunately, I'm such in a place that remote that I don't want to have you guys really challenge your ears too much longer. But this was an amazing session. I really appreciate that. I want to put the ball in some of all of you that are attending on the call. If you happen to have an expertise that Jack, David, Danny, Claire, all of you are really good at what you do, but every time we do this, we look for a speaker that could present a 5-minute presentation, no more than that. And if any one of you would consider doing that, you can please let me know or Aaron know, and we would love to get with you before our next networking call, because all of this is all about us educating and sharing for each other. So I'm gonna put that challenge out there to you, Claire, to you, Danny. Jack must be off. David must be offline, but to Jack and Janice, you're just starting. But if you would like that challenge is out there for you to present something that is going to help the rest of the expert witness, and it's going to be 5 minutes. We've all presented, and Jack, you sound like you do a great job at it. I love speaking as well. So think about it. No one's asking you for a decision right now, but please email me after, or email Aaron, or email FEWA after this. And if you're interested, we'll be happy to work with you on that. So we are coming up on time to say goodbye. I want to just thank each of you for this. We're going to be doing, Aaron, another presentation in about maybe a month to 6 weeks. That's normally the strategy. Every 4 to 6 weeks or so we do it. I don't believe we have a date right now. Aaron, is that correct?
So yes, thanks, Anna. We do have a date on the calendar for the next virtual networking, and that is November 13th.
Okay, perfect.
From 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. I don't believe we have at this time a speaker lined up for that. So that is something we will need to get our team members working on immediately. But we do have that registration and information open on the website under the events section. And I could also take just another couple seconds and note that we do have another couple of webinars that actually have a CFLC credit associated with them. We have one on October 16th, and that's a fellow expert's lessons learned on marketing a forensic expert practice. And that is on October 16th, as I said, also from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And then I believe the last webinar of the year is scheduled for December 18th from 1 to 2 Pacific time, and that is using methodology to tell your client's story. So you can see more information and registration information on those under the events tab of the FEWA website.
Awesome. Erin, thank you for that. We always love our educational opportunities. And for those of you that are not doing this, I highly recommend that every webinar networking session that you attend with FEWA, you put and list it on your CV. So your attorneys know that you are up to date on education and on the value that you bring. So all of these sessions, please put them on your CV. And if you go to any of our chapter meetings, you get CFLC credit for it. So make sure you put that on your CV as well. If you look at my CV, at the end of it, it shows all of the chapter meetings. I've got to do some updates because I don't have them all on there, but I religiously go back and put them on there. It really tells the attorneys that you are about the business of keeping updated in your field, and you're at the top of your field. Thank you, everyone. Or it's at the very end. If you look at it, it goes education credentials. After that, there you go. So you see how 2015, 16, 17, 18, then 19. All of these are so 19. I've got to get going on it, right? But as you can see, all of these things that we talk about gives you and the attorney an understanding of your expertise, hypothetical evidence, hearsay. You know, those are the kind of things that they want to know. Do you know what you're talking about? So anyway, that's something that I definitely want to share with you. And that reminds me, I got 3 or 4 of them to put back in for 2019. Or maybe I just haven't given you my latest CV. That's another thing. Keep your CV updated. Thank you, guys. Feel free to reach out to me, Diana Price, if you ever need to, and Erin can give you my email address, or I'd be happy to talk with any of you about forensic expert business. But thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you November. That date again, Erin, November, for the next webinar is November.
Yeah, that's going to be November 13th. November 13th.
13th. Awesome. Appreciate all of you. Have a good rest of your evening. Let us hear from you about if you want to be a speaker and if you have any questions. Thank you for being on the call today. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you. Goodbye.
My pleasure.